See, turn is a very strong statement. These stocks were almost like Humpty Dumpty. And from those Humpty Dumpty levels, these stocks have just lost some fat. So PSU stocks had just become disproportionately big, and there was just no cognizance of what the margin and what the growth was. So the fall was overdue. That also coincided with a slack in government spending. Now we have to look at the fact that where the government spending in terms of an multiplier would be the highest, and I expect the disproportionate beneficiary here would be power. The disproportionate beneficiary here would be alternate energy. The disproportionate benefit here would be anything which has got to do with this entire energy transition theme. So I think that in a sense will become a very large theme where you will actually see outperformance. Second, PSU banks. I think the sentiment for PSU banks has been unnecessarily sad, and I'll stick my neck out here when I'm very confident I do that, which is we've not had any large disappointment in terms of earnings from PSU banks. They were marred because other PSUs were getting slammed. The growth is still intact and balance sheet issues are not there, which means NPS. So I expect that PSU banks will lead the front. Power could be the second one. I don't expect any renewed vigor coming back in railways and defense that prominently because valuations are still looking very stretched, and frankly a lot of government spending which was going in some of these sectors, even if it normalizes, defense and PSU stocks, defense and railways I think are very expensive. So for me the whole PSU or the Modi trade now would be centered around large PSU banks followed by energy transition and power stocks. That's how I see the differentiation in terms of the first half of 2024 versus second half of 2024 for PSUs.
So that's the editor's takes on the PSU counters. But yes, it's a well-known fact that the performance is notwithstanding, but the sentiment remains strong. But for PSUs, is this a time ripe for the rally? That's the big question that we are asking, and Sharad is joining us to give us the factors to watch out for when it comes to all these PSU counters and what's impacting them.
Well, yes, PSUs are back in focus, and of course there are certain reasons why they are actually in focus, and they have been buzzing over the last two trading sessions as well. Now the government's order backlog, that's expected to be cleared as per analysts, and interestingly there has been a big win for NDA-led government in the state of Maharashtra as well. Now this parliament session has also started, especially announcements have started pouring in, especially on shipping and exports. That is something which the market is actually looking forward to. And also interestingly, a week ago, DIPAM tweaked the capital norms for value creation. Now this is for various actions such as buyback, share split, dividend, bonus as well. If you look at the PSU stocks as well, they have corrected. Now there has been a significant correction. You could say roughly, you could say 13% from 2024 highs as well. But now let's look at what the brokerages have stated. Kotak Securities, they have stated that the government's focus would be on execution instead of stimulus announcements. And Macquarie also has stated that the capex must rise almost by 52% in the second half of FY25 as well. Also, there are certain risks also, and there are three major risks. The first one is being the execution. Any delay in that might be actually impacting the budget as well. Also, the inflation and the rising geopolitical tensions across the board, be it US's tariff announcements or issues in the Middle East, all impacting the PSUs as well, especially on the global supply chain front. Now, apart from this, now let's look at how the correction has actually panned out over the last 3 months. The names over here, we have Cochin Shipyard, MMTC, MRPL, IRCON making it to the list where the losses have been more than 25%. Also, to this list, if you look at it, we have Bharat Dynamics, Midhani and Hudco, RVNL as well. Apart from this correction, we have taken an analysis of at least 10 analysts tracking the stock of the BSE PSU index, and the stocks with the highest 12-month target price or potential. This looks is REC, LIC, Coal India, ONGC and Union Bank as well. Also making it to the list, there are stocks such as HAL, Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda, Oil India and even PFC coming, where there is a strong potential over the next 12 months as per the analysts.